It's always so amazing to explore the worlds that From Software makes for us in every single game. And yes, when it comes to DLC, it is also just delightful to go back in there and explore that new world that we're going to have. But usually, ever since the days of Dark Souls, when we got a DLC, like Artorias of the Abyss, the real incentive, at least for me, is how over the top the new weapons, the new spells, the new items are. And as a matter of fact, since Dark Souls 1, the base game of Dark Souls 1, it didn't really have that much over-the-top weapons that would have like crazy movesets. It was until Artorias of the Abyss that we got the Artorias' weapon, the Artorias' greatsword. And a lot of the new weapons, they were like really cool, and they had new movesets, like they were like all over the top. The same thing happened with the 3 DLCs for Dark Souls 2. The same thing happened. Dark Souls 3 did have the arts of war, the weapon arts of the weapons, and they were a little bit more flashy in a kind of sense. But when it comes to DLC, the ringed weapons, everything, the ringed weapons knights, everything was just so over the top. And in Elden Ring, well, our weapons on the base game are already all over the top. But I'm guessing that in the DLC they have to step it up a little bit more. And what we are seeing so far, I just love it. Like the new weapons, the new things that we have right here. Everything is just so delightful, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's take a look at the new weapons, the new items, the new spells that we have, and discuss a little bit about them. But rest assured that I'm pretty sure, found redundance, that there's going to be many more Ashes of War, many more weapons, many more spells that we're going to be able to explore now that Shadow of the Erdtree finally releases on June 2024, which is just delightful. This is the first one. It seems that the weapon, it's like kind of his dual wielding weapons, curved swords, and we have a sidestep. Sidestep has always been a very powerful asset on Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 because it has more iframes than your regular dodge. Here it seems that you can connect the sidestep. This is a new kind of sidesteps. We have the 2 at the moment on Elden Ring, the regular sidestep and then the Bloodhound step, which travels a little bit further, and it is really broken. It is really powerful because the iframes on that thing is just disgusting. If you can actually pair it up with the weapon Ash of War and do follow-up attacks after the sidestep, that is cool. That is amazing. I really do like that. And then we have this one right here. We have a couple new items, and that is true also for the previous Souls games. It is nothing new that new items are added as well, although I'm wondering if this is an item. I'm guessing that it is an item. I do not think that this is going to be a weapon, but dual throwing knives, and it seems like they have quite a bit of points. This is also very useful in PvP, like throwing items like to have some distance with your enemy. It's always amazing. And yeah, I mean, this actually looks kind of cool. And this is not the only item that we have, at least the one that I speculate for it to be an item. We'll see one just right about now in a little while. This one that you see Tarnished using right here, which seems to be a cauldron, a bomb. We do have bombs. We actually already have bombs in the game, but nothing so crazy as this thing that you are seeing right here. This is just massive, dude. This is just massive. The amount of poise, the amount of damage, the AoE that this thing seems to have. I mean, if we can craft this thing and have quite a bit of them, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be using it myself for quite a while. The new spells. Oh boy, I'm always happy about new spells because they are always flashy as well. You know, there's always a kind of a distinctive color when it comes to the spells of Elden Ring. you have the meteor kind of sorceries, and then you have the moonlight sorceries, you have the dragon electric spells, you have the regular electric spells. They are distinguished because the dragon ones are red electricity, and then the regular ones are just yellow electricity, like it usually always is. There's also a bit of a Ashes of War and some spells that also have like dragon cold and such. There's also the Scarlet Rods, which is usually that it has that singular crimson color to it. Here, to me, I mean, I guess that when I see this, and we don't have that much time when it hits like the enemies that you see right there. But it could be like kind of a sleeping spell, you know? I'm guessing that it's a sleep AoE kind of attack. It doesn't allow us to see, and probably that's the reason why it doesn't allow us to see what's the reaction of the enemies. They get hit by it, and then they seem to go down, and then immediately the clip moves forward to the next thing. I'm guessing that that's the thing, at least that's what the color of the spell tells me. We have one of the very first winners, one of the very first all over the top things that I was telling you about, the one thing that I just can't wait to try it. We are going to be able to build a monk now. This flying round kick, the animation looks so amazing. And remember that we do have like kind of flying animations on the game with the Marcus hammer. And when you use that against somebody that's doing AoE damage that smashes the grounds, you can bypass that and use that as an iframe, as avoiding that attack. The frames that this thing seems to be in the sky, it's just amazing, and I'm guessing that that's going to serve the same purpose as well. And this seems to be a nightmare. I think that I'm going to be hating this thing on PvP. If they don't balance it proper, I'm guessing that if people can learn how to use this thing in PvP, it's going to be devastating. But then again, it also seems like a weapon that it is going to be devastating on PvE, because if you build properly, if you use the proper bolts with this crossbow, with this repeating crossbow that we have right here, I'm guessing that this thing could potentially be deadly as well, both on PvP and PvE. Yeah, this is one of the very cool looking ones. Now these ones right here are not being particularly used by tarnished or players. But you know that if you see an enemy in Elden Ring using a weapon, you can get that weapon. There is no weapon that you cannot see that you cannot get. And this sword right here, I love that design, and it also seems to be like a gravity sorceries kind of weapon. And we know that these things on the base game, oh boy, they're scary. They're very scary. As a matter of fact, Radan main weapon, it's one of the top tier weapons that you have in the entirety of the game, because not only does these things deal massive damage, but also the amount of poise and stagger damage that these things usually dish out. This is going to be one of the meta ones, I can tell you that much. And then last but not least, this is nothing new. This is nothing like completely brand new to your eyes. This is a spell that we've already had in the base game of Elden Ring, but we didn't have the chance to try ourselves. At least me, myself particularly, I cannot remember. I do have to say that I haven't made that much Crucible Knight builds myself. I think that's one of the many builds that we did when we covered Elden Ring back then, where we tried to do like every kind of single little builds. This is one of the ones that I think that I was missing, the ones that I didn't do. I can't seem to remember if we already have this spell in the game. I think we don't. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the Crucible Knight spell that they use, where they have like these angel wings, and then they jump into the air and strike at you at a lightning fast speed. I mean, this is just this little glimpse that we have right here for the trailer. It's more than enough to get me going, get me pumped. We're so back. We're so back. I can't believe that we're going to be playing Shadow of the Erdtree in June this year. Let me know what you think about all of this, guys, in the comments section down below. Which one of this stuff that we have discussed here, which one is your favorite? Which one do you think that you're going to be using? What kind of new builds are you going to be using based on the new things that we're going to have in Shadow of the Erdtree? I will see you, beautiful people, in the next one. Have a lovely day and goodbye. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Goodbye.